That I swear, said I will never quit. Keep the fire burning hot. Holy Manuel I Selassie Jah, blazing fire.
Rise up.
Yes, sir. Give thanks and praise. Greetings. Welcome to another episode of the Perfect Balance TrodClass, a place where conscious-minded individuals are guided towards the full potential through collective reasoning. We have with us Yaga, aka Teacher Ma'at, Okavango, the Rebel Guru, Bingi, and
Greetings.
we have with us again Brother Delani, which is always a pleasure.
Rise up.
Um, I
Hotel.
am yours truly, Rasdada. We're here on the Perfect Balance TrodClass. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit your notification bell so that you're informed whenever we drop and upload a video, so you can keep abreast of the TrodClass. Remember also that Brother Delani is also a member of the YouTube community, and he also has his own channel, which I'll allow him to speak on when we get to Brother Delani. This morning, what we want to do is we want to have a discussion, because it's a very prevalent issue within the African diaspora and Africa, both on the continent and amongst the diaspora, and that is financial literacy. Being aware of how to manage our financial experiences, and what we can do towards improving our conditions through our financial resources. We'll start with Brother Delani as our guest. So what I'll do is I'll allow him to speak briefly on his YouTube
Channel.
channel and his social media stuff. He'll give those, and then he can speak on the issues of financial literacy in the African community. Brother
I
Delani.
want to say I want to say thank you for inviting me and having me as a correspondent in the trad class. It's an
Yes,
honor
sir.
to be here amongst these young African scholars and warriors in our liberation struggle. Um, my name's Brother Dulani. I'm a reparation advocate, and I have a channel called Brother Dulani on YouTube. You type in Brother Dulani, and you will find me. I also have a TikTok page called Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. So that's where I give my analysis of current events and also historical events, and give my perspective on many things around the world. So yes, then that's pretty much me there as Brother Dolani. Yes, so I think the issue this week on the third class is about finance, and I think finance is a very vital, very important subject matter that it governs almost every aspect of our lives. As you know, as African people today, we are born in a world where, depending on where you are stationed today, your life chances are limited or enhanced, or could be greater or lesser based on your geographical location in which you're born in and you find yourself in at the moment. In the Western world, which we would call like the Caribbean, North America, South America, I mean, even Europe, there's a different set of paradigm present to you when you're born in, say, Europe and North America. A certain level, certain pathways are open to you as an African person to pursue. Now, I'm going to lay them out. You can go and work for somebody to achieve an income, and based on your skills, based on your level of skills, you can earn, and you can probably take care of yourself and buy a home and so forth. The other avenue, and I think these are the three. I'm going to lay out the three main avenue or pathways to achieve wealth in this society. One is open a business. Open a business, either you provide a service or product to your community and solve problems in the community. The other way is investment in stocks and bonds and all kind of asset class that's available on the stock market. That's one way. That's another way of achieving um, wealth in the society. And the other way is through real estate investment. So if you can invest in prime properties, beachfront properties, real estate around the world, you can um, earn tremendous amount of income from those three areas that I just mentioned to you right now. So that is the setup. That is the condition that we find ourselves in under a capitalist society. You have to decide whether you're going to work for the capitalists. Are you going to set up your own business? Are you going to invest in stocks and bonds? Are you going to invest in real estate? You have to decide which path you're going to go down in this capitalist society. And I'll start the conversation off like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So you know, we see that Africans are pretty much described as one of the greatest consumer sections of the economy almost everywhere we go, because they say most of the spending, the consumer side of the spending, happens within the African section of the community or society. Bingy, what are your views on that?
Well, financial literacy is a thing that plagues our community on all different levels, right? Because of our socioeconomic conditions most of the times, right? So I think for us to start, we have to take responsibilities for our own lives. Then we have to set goals. We have to set smart goals. Then we have to learn how money actually works, right? So those will be three places where you start, right? Learning how money works is a real thing, because now even though we think about wealth in a way where we all can achieve it, we could all achieve wealth, but it's at different pace, right? Based on our socio-economic condition, meaning the ability to earn. So if we understand, or if we are earning and we understand how money works, then we'll understand how to invest our money to make it work for us, right? So I think so financial literacy really takes um precedence when we learn how money works. So learning how money works has to be the most important thing. Like so most people, they work, right? You work, you get paid, right? You have bills, stuff like that. We have to understand now how to invest, how to be able to take some of that money that we earn, right? Preferably, and invest it wisely. So, learning how money works has to be one of the first things we have to understand to become financially literate. Because most of the times, people earn, but they don't understand how money actually works. So that would be part of the foundation, right?
So, Brother Bingy,
Yeah.
can you give us a synopsis of how money works?
Right. So you 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 have this thing, you have labor, you get paid for this labor, right? So that money, that dollar that you earn, for example, right? How do you make it work for you now? So that dollar that you earn, so we should set goals on how to spend that dollar to make it work. So one of the things is we have bills. So we know we have to pay bills, right? So we pay our bills, but we also know what we should know is how to pay ourselves, right? So out of that dollar that you earn, 20% of that dollar should go into savings and investment, for example, or savings. Then some of it go into investment and then bills, right? So some people might say, but I can't do that. But you can. You have to make sacrifices to do it too. It's not just about, hey, saying I don't make enough. What happens is we think money is something that we gain and we spend in our community. I'm talking about, right? But that money that we gain and spend is and not so. We supposed to take some of that money and be able to save and invest, so that money now double or triple or quadruple. So we're talking about using money in a smart way. How the money
You,
work, right?
you,
Is
you
so to
compound it.
benefit. Yeah?
You compound it.
Yes, I to benefit you, right? So that dollar now you have to understand that that dollar or that 20 cents now could turn into $10. That 20 cents, right? So now you have to figure out how to take that 20 cents and invest it wisely so you could turn that into triple or quadruple what it is. So I think the first thing we have to analyze, and we as a consumer society, because Africans, we are really consumers, right? We have to figure out what our wants are and what our needs are, right? And we have to sometimes eliminate our wants and just deal with the needs. So if we eliminate most of our wants, that thing that we don't want no more, that money that we using for that we was using for that thing that we want, we can now take that money and invest it into something, make it grow, right? And sometimes people say, well, hey, what I live in now, I live in the now, right? But then we have to think about our children, their children. So we have to set up these legacies, right? That our families could benefit from too, right? It's not always about individual reality, right? But as a community, I think we have to understand that. We have to start understanding how we could, instead of buying a shirt we don't need, how we could take that $5 for that shirt and now put it into something and turn it into $30 or $40 or $100. So I think it really start with setting, understanding money, start with setting smart goals, how to use that money that you earn. So that's what I'm talking about when I say understanding or learn how money actually work. That's what we're missing. We're missing the understanding of how money work communally. Now we have man and man out there understand how it working because they're doing it, right? So
Can I add a little tiny piece on that?
yeah,
The, you see what you say about education
yeah,
is very, very important
important.
because I think it does a disservice to us if we're going to live in a capitalist world and the neo-colonial government is going to maintain a capitalist system and you don't empower your citizens to compete within the capitalist paradigm. If we're going to
Mhm,
navigate through capitalism, because capitalism is, in its sense, is maintaining our colonialization, and it's maintaining the inequality that exists. At the very minimum, the children in the school should be taught how capitalism works. We should taught how finance is working in the society. So
mhm,
when we graduate from school, we can go out there and compete in this capitalist environment that can bring about benefit for ourselves and our society. How do we outmaneuver the capitalists them to be so we can create better benefit for ourselves and our people? Because under capitalism, the economy is stacked against us. Under capitalism, the financial market and the system is stacked against African people and farmer colonized people around the world. We have to become smart enough to be able to outsmart the capitalists. We have to teach our children what are the areas to invest in, what are some of the things that they need to do. So that's where the education come into the picture about how, where are the monies being generated in capitalism? Where
yeah.
are the major investments taking place? And we
Mhm,
push our children into those areas. And we use the local finance that we have to invest in those areas. But we have to also keep our eye on the fact that we have to do our best to reduce the inequality that was created from the Mangamizi because there
mhm.
was an economical damage that was done to our people that need to be addressed. So even though we're moving towards financial policy to invest in different areas that the capitalists have under control, we have to find a way now how to equalize the situation without becoming isolated and being picked up by the capitalist forces. Because they will do everything to undermine us in this process of talking about we want to be financially independent from them. Because ultimately we have to compete with them in order to
No,
bring benefit to our people. Yes, my brother.
Brother Delani, um, the the concern I have with that
Mm.
is this, right? Capitalism is a self-sustaining framework. It's a self-sustaining system. It sustains itself, right? First and foremost. Second of all, the the way how
How,
the
do,
society
how does it do that?
No.
How does it
how
self
does it do
sustain
that?
itself?
How it
Yes.
sustains itself is this, right? The purpose of capitalism is to give everyone the belief that they are able to uplift themselves economically, financially, based off of them resources and assets to reach a point. How them describe it in the system is lower class, middle class, upper class, right? So whatever class structure you are in or a part of, in capitalism, the desire is to uplift yourself from that class structure and reach a better or more socially advanced structure, right? Level. Okay? Now, the structure of capitalism is of such that the lower class is the predominant majority. If the lower class is not the predominant majority, it is not capitalism, right? So that's the first thing we have to understand. And as we go to the middle class, it becomes a smaller group, and as we go to the upper class, it becomes a even smaller group, right? Now, as we have this desire to uplift ourselves and improve, right? When we uplift ourselves, let's say we're starting at the lower class, right? As we uplift ourselves and attain middle class status, right? And I want to point out as well that what separates the lower class from the middle class is property ownership, right? How you advance is not how much money you have, is not how much car you have. What separates the lower class from the middle class is owning property, right? So that's how you, right, not just assets, but property. That's how you move from lower class to middle class. So as people own property, they move from lower class to middle class. So the more people that start to own property, the more people become a part of the middle class, right?
Stick a pin, stick a pin.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I
sir.
don't know if that statement is a true statement
Mm-hmm.
because
Depends
people,
on where you are.
yeah, so that's demographics. You could
Yeah.
own property in a certain demographic and you're still poor. So
Still
I don't
poor.
know if so money
But middle
is
class
what
doesn't mean you're
makes the
not poor.
difference. No, money and the amount of money you make is what separate classes, not ownership of
No,
property in
brother.
that sense.
No, brother.
Eh?
It's obvious
Brother,
that
How you
that's not the
mean?
case.
brother,
It's
No
obvious that
man.
that's not the case because we can prove it.
me not
All
like
right,
you skip
prove it.
past me, you know.
No, we
Prove
don't
it.
skip past it yet, fire.
What I mean?
We
You
just not
skip
reach
past
there
me.
yet.
What I mean?
We just not reach there
Yeah,
yet.
man, skip past me, man.
Can't leave out the, can't leave out
We
the man
can
Rasta.
verify. We can verify, right? That is not money that separates you from lower to middle class, right? Because if you look on the what do you call it now? The I don't want to use the term the hood or the ghetto, right? I don't want to really use them terms, but we could look at these places where the inner city then, yes, let us use that terminology, right? You have a lot of people in these communities who have access to a lot of money, right? A lot of money, but they are not identified or classified as middle class. You
No,
understand?
Ras. Ras, let me give you the definition of
Mhm.
what lower and upper classes are defined as. It is
Okay, go
defined
ahead.
by income,
Okay.
one,
Mm-hmm.
education, and occupation. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that, we're not even talking about ownership yet, we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
income. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
say to you, the first
Right.
thing that defines
Mm-hmm.
that is income. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that is true on all levels. So even if you living in a
Mm-hmm.
poverty-stricken area and
Mm-hmm.
you have a certain income, you're
Income.
still
Mm-hmm.
middle class or
Mm-hmm.
upper middle class. So we're dealing with
Right.
income. We're not
So
dealing with
when you have
property
this
ownership.
income,
So that's
when
why I
you
say to the eye, when the eye
mm,
start off saying about ownership,
ownership.
that is not it. We're
But
talking
hold on the
about
fire. We can
income.
break it down, you know. We
Yeah,
can break it down the
income,
fire.
education, and occupation.
Right. So when you know have this income,
Yes.
what is the first thing now you look towards doing once you attain this income?
Well,
It,
it depends,
it
Dada.
depends.
Because some people don't want to own.
Some
Some people
people
don't
don't
want to own
want to
nothing.
own.
No,
No, the
no.
majority of
I
people,
think
the
it's a
majority of
No,
combination.
man. Some
eh?
people are middle class
No.
and rent house and manhattan, you know.
Mm,
Live in
Yes,
a
I.
highest building, you know, pay
Yes,
highest
I.
money, you know,
mhm.
and never own nothing, you know.
Yes,
Right.
And take be a trip around the world, you know.
But the
yes.
majority,
Well,
those are the exceptions. The
what is that? Is
majority,
that a fact or a gut
it's
feeling?
a fact. It's a fact.
I think it's a
No.
combination
It's
of
a
I think it's a
it's a
combination
fact.
of all those factors.
It's a fact.
I think it's a combination of asset ownership, a combination of income, and a combination of education.
It
I think it's a
is
combination of
fire.
all those things
It is
because
fire. But
it puts you in a
what I'm
different
saying,
bracket.
what I'm saying is that once you attain that, the next step is ownership. And
Hmm.
that is the action now that separates you. You understand? Because
Yeah.
in order for you, even if you want to own, you have to tick those boxes when you go and look for a mortgage.
But you have to
Income.
earn to own.
Exactly. So this is the
Yeah.
point that we're saying that the representation is shown once you know own.
Yeah,
And the
but Dada,
majority of people.
if you end up owning a house and you not have the
Mhm.
income same way, so you're middle class?
So this is the
No.
point that we're saying to you now that once you find out that you have a great advancement from low to middle. So you have more people owning homes. Once them realize that in the system, what the system does, it brings on a recession. And once it bring on a recession, what you find the first thing and most common thing what people lose in a recession is them property, them homes. You
Uh,
understand? So what it
So,
do,
so,
it
so
drop
that's
them back
why,
from middle
that's
class
why
to
when they
lower class.
define the difference between lower class, middle
Mm-hmm.
class, and upper
Mm-hmm.
class, it is only
Mm-hmm.
defined through
Mm-hmm.
income, education, and occupation.
but
Exactly why.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I think though there's a value that's put on these things. It depends on the value of your property. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
a property that value $1 million, you automatically in the upper class.
Right,
If you have a
right.
property that only value like
Well, well, all
20,000,
right,
True.
brother Dulani, not
so it
present here
depends on the
either, you know.
value.
But
Not
then you have to
present
Huh?
have
here
the
either.
income to buy
Mm-hmm.
that house, that
Right.
value at half a
No,
million. So you're still
but you
dealing
can
with
also
income, eh?
inherit you
Yeah.
can also inherit that house as well. So
You
what I'm
could.
saying is that there is a value attached to it. So your network will have to determine what class you're in.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that I mean what we tend to read in the definition is a standard definition for tax
Mm.
purposes and brackets
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
demographic brackets.
Mm.
But in actuality, you look at the person network in a society, and you can say where that station
Hmm.
Right.
that person would
Right.
be in,
But
because the upper class in America,
mm.
begin at 200,000. If you have a combined network of 200,000, you are in the top 5% of the American society. The 95% of the people is earning less than 200,000
A year.
a year. No, no,
Mm.
no, no. The whole network. So if you generate 200,000 a year, you're not the super rich. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
that is kinda again like we talk about definitions and the purpose of
yes.
definitions, right? Because that I work with people where collectively in them family them are bringing $200,000 a year. And
Mm-hmm.
them not in the upper class.
But they may not feel it. They may not feel it, but they are in a very rare ear. You know what I'm
You
saying?
get a master
Because
fire?
the vast majority of the people is living way below that.
Mm, right.
You know?
But
But
the
mhm.
point I'm gonna make though fire is that the system, brother, is built where there's always gonna be the majority of people in the lower class and a smaller group in the middle
that,
class and an even smaller group in the upper class. And
that,
capitalism,
that, that
capitalism that disappeared. Agreed with that too. You
That is true.
understand?
Okavango, you wanted to add
Mhm.
something? Because I
Yes.
wanted to give another analysis as well.
Give thanks for the Dolani. Long time we there wait
You
patiently,
must
you know.
wait some time, man.
Yeah, man, we there wait
Yeah,
patiently.
because
I can't get
when the plane take off again, we don't know if it's going we
can't
don't
get
know if
a
it's going
Hey,
to
chance.
land.
hold on. Mama, pass the baton. Here you go. Here you go. Pass the baton.
Yo, me a
Yeah.
starting ball, me a starting
Pass
ball
the
already.
torch, the
Big star
torch.
ball at the pan bench. Huh? Hey, Dada, watch yourself, you know. Oh. Yeah, but we talk about financial literacy.
Lucy.
Bingy mentioned it. Sometimes one time I feel like say me I one of them person that way not really to understand money
Mhm.
certain way because
Mhm.
I Jamaican that say me always broke like dog all the way. You understand? So
Yeah.
me feel like me one of them person that way not to understand.
Remember,
Yeah,
say
Listen,
them file for the most
the
bankruptcy, you
200,
know.
the 200,000 I mean nothing to them.
And them file
200,000
for the
come like
most bank. Me
nothing.
never hear a broke man file for bankruptcy yet, you know. Me never hear a broke man file for bankruptcy yet. Never.
yeah. So
All right.
anyway, as I say,
Yeah.
I sometimes I have to understand how money work. But one thing me
Mhm.
know, I agree with what Dada say. There's always gonna be the poor people or the lower class because
Mhm.
no matter what, no matter how educated you are with money,
Mhm.
no matter how you know about money, no matter
Mhm.
how you know
Mhm.
about money works, maybe
Mhm.
you, a one man, get himself out of
Mhm.
poverty, but guess
Mhm.
what? The majority of the people
Mhm.
is still gonna be in poverty, still gonna be struggling, and I mean, still
Mhm.
gonna be going to work and hand to mouth.
Mhm.
So the thing when me feel so with the attack is the system or the system work because
Agreed.
you still have the 1% there. We
Mhm.
have
Control.
the earth resources, them have the majority of the earth resources locked
Mhm.
away somewhere.
Mhm.
And I mean, and that's we're talking about agreed, we're talking about billionaires, millionaires too. And I mean, I
Mhm.
don't me personally don't feel the world need billionaires. And
Mhm.
I mean, why somebody need to be a billionaire? And I mean, why you need
Mhm,
so much when people have so
Others have
little? You
nothing.
know what I
Mhm.
mean?
mhm,
So
mhm,
for me, you know what I mean, for really and truly, I never have a desire to be a billionaire and a millionaire because I can't have them desire that because that is not the work when me come have to do. Because when I look upon things, if I just say, boy, I some money I try to make. When we look upon it, say, if we get accumulated some money, the money, if you're talking about how money works, if you get $1 million, it come from somewhere. It's coming from somebody. You know what I mean? So when you take this money or get this money, just like we have the billionaire them get the money from somewhere. So the more billionaire you have, is the more poor people you have. You understand?
mhm. Yes,
So
yes.
we need to, but we have, you know what I mean? For me, we need to abolish
I,
billionaires.
I agree with
That
you.
should be abolished
Look, brother,
and outlawed, man.
I
So
I
what
agree.
are the
I agree. I
billionaires?
agree.
The
I
reason,
agree. You know,
let me finish because a
go
long time I'm
on.
not talking now. Let me finish there.
Go on, got
So,
you, man. Got you.
yeah, man. So, when me try to say, we have a whole heap of poor people out here. And you know what I mean? I mean, so we need to abolish billionaires and the wealth, the world wealth need to be shared more equally. You know what I mean? Because the reason why we gotta work, we not gotta work. I survive. Everybody has tried to survive make it work, It's a real survival thing. Because people are work long time before you have jobs. People are work. But the real thing is to survive. And some people, like, them must survive and then them still accumulate these things where they don't really need that to survive same way. Because all we really want to do, I survive. You know what I mean? When some people out here are dead for hungry. You know what I mean? They not even get the chance to survive. You know what I mean? Why some people out here have too much. You know what I mean? So the financial thing is you know what I mean? It's kind of a year or day thing for me because while me out here I try to survive. You know what I mean? Me have no desire to have all these wealth in the world and things. Because when we look on it, there is always gonna be somebody down there. You know what I mean? When me have to go look out for same way. But now I'm gonna have it same way. You understand? So the system need to change, yeah, man. The system, this capitalist system or whatever system them have, we are make these all these billionaires. After COVID, the amount of people turn billionaire. And you see, you have an effect called more people get poor. You know what I mean? So it's a system change we need. Yeah, man. That we have to fight again. The system.
Yeah, but what we are saying still, what we are saying still is this, right? We are saying, yeah, the system is flawed, and yeah, the system of its thing, but we exist in this system.
Mm.
So what we are saying now,
Yeah.
what are the tools? What are the tools that we as African people? Cause remember, say we the down in the pit, you know,
Yeah.
and we are trying to fight to come out of the pit. So what are the tools? Because the major tool that we can use to come out of this pit is finances. So what
Yes.
are the tools what we can implement
But Dada,
to
to how we talk say money work, you go always have poor people. And
right?
I need you need to have property, right? You mentioned property, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So who have the more property,
Mm-hmm.
and them have
The more wealth.
the more wealth.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
so, so,
But
your things say you can work yourself up for have
Mm-hmm.
because first thing them man that we have them big the most property
Mm-hmm.
is not for sale.
No, them not give them up.
It's not for sale.
And the poor people are sell property.
yes.
Yeah,
Poor
I
people are
yeah.
think I
sell
So
think
them
property.
property there, you're not gonna get them for buy, so you never
Yeah,
gonna
man.
reach up there. So you
Them
understand?
them
So
them,
you're
them
gonna
not
stay
go from
yourself.
generation to generation.
What really I'm with we is a what we call that a fluctuation. So maybe you go up, but maybe your kids them go down. You know what I mean? You go. You know what I mean? So this is what the cycle
Yes,
between the
cycle.
poor, and and the
Lower
middle
middle
class or
class.
whatever you
Lower
want to
middle
call it.
class.
Yeah, because the system is rigged.
Right.
I
It's
think
rigged.
And what
yeah.
happened now in this system?
Mm-hmm.
Black people, African people start at the bottom. That
Yes.
means
Below
it's
the
like impossible. Or
below,
even so it's
below.
impossible with
Mm-hmm.
this system
Yes.
for you go to the top.
No, it can't.
Because you already not own the property them when not selling no.
Mm-hmm.
Them not selling you know. Them not they not give you that. You
Brother
understand?
Dulani,
Yeah.
what come to there, you know, see?
Yeah, go
So what we
on.
are say is this. What we are say is this, right? We are said this. Say, yes, these things are fundamentally true, right? So what we're saying is that as African people, for gain financial literacy, this is something, as Brother Dulani always highlight. Say from the primary school, kindergarten school, basic school, the children have to be taught that this is the system that they are being trained to enter. So once them know, say this is what it
Mm-hmm.
is, then now
Mm-hmm.
them can have the necessary tools to equip themselves, not to come and be in the upper, but for being in a way where their communities. Because now we realize capitalism I bring it to an individualistic thought process. Well, it's only what I can get. And we're not
Mm-hmm.
busy about nobody else. So we have to know, understand that this is what capitalism is and this is the system we are in. And we have to
Right.
say, okay, well, we are going to now shift it from where we are dealing with it in that light. Because even though we're working in capitalism, we don't have to deal it like that because you have a thing named cooperatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where exists in a capitalism, where people come together and work together. You have a thing named non-profits that function in capitalism. You understand? So it is only when we are taught these things and taught that there are ways of approaching it outside of the pre-described. Come get a job, own a little business,
Real estate.
invest on the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
These are the pre-described things that them say, okay, this is how you're gonna advance. So what about collectively working together to achieve goals? You understand what I said? There are other options that we can use to gain financial literacy. Brother Dulani had a burning point.
Field.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
Let's read. Mm-hmm.
mm.
Yes. Brother Dulani?
Yes, I endorse almost everything been said this evening. Um, Certainly the education component is very essential. I think political economy need to be taught to our children. We need to understand political economy because we live in a political world and we live in a world where economies are intertwined and interconnected to one another. In Jamaica, for instance, it is difficult for us to move independently away from the financial system without being punished, without being crushed financially. So, in a sense, we are stuck for the moment. unless we can create some type of revolutionary movement with other countries. We couldn't do it alone. With other countries, alliances with other countries who think like us, who want to create a better world, a more equilibrium world where the resources are shared between the people and everybody can benefit from the resources. However, at the moment we are tied to a capitalist, imperialist system. And my brother, as simple as it may sound, it's only a machine that makes money. You understand?
Yeah.
That's
It's a
all it is.
printing press that them use and print the money to control the behavior of a society. And this is how the capitalism can control us with just printing money. They increase money supply and then can decrease money supply and control how certain things work or which sector of the economy money flow to. So it is
Mhm.
exactly. Exactly. And this idea of billionaires it's totally insult. It's insane that we would have the idea of having billionaires on this earth with so many millions, if not billions of people are living in poverty. There should be no billionaire on this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Because if I could interject, Brother Delany, you said
Yes.
something earlier that if you're making 200,000 US a year, you're in the
Hmm.
upper class. So look
Yes,
how
I.
far 200,000 is from $1 billion,
Me
and
I
how
tell
many
you,
people could be living in the upper
So you
class
upper
feel like in upper
house,
class.
out of $1 billion. Just
to back.
one, you know.
Yes, I. So it is a travesty, my brother. It's an insult to us what they have done to us as a people. Because remember, even it was said in this same discussion that the deck is stacked against us. The system is rigged, particularly with the racial component of the last 500 years. We're at a disadvantage in capitalism because the capitalism will always have the upper hand. Because no matter what new project come on the scene, they are more positioned to take advantage of every opportunity that comes. So
Because them
we,
have a thing named credit.
well,
But
credit and also asset,
But
also
even
asset.
knowing,
So
even knowing all of that, Brother Dulani, how do we now proceed and
navigate.
understand the system that we live in so that we could live
It,
decent lives, right?
decent.
Financial
Yes,
literacy, what we talking about. Because the
right.
system
And I want
exists.
So
Yeah, and I want to add something in the bingy because I said
yeah.
something a while ago and I don't want to get misconstrued. Like, me, I said, oh, if we sit down and not do anything, and I mean, 'cause you still have to survive still. We
Yes,
still have to
I.
try
Yes,
our
Yes.
best to
right,
survive. Even though we know the system work, we still
You're
have to
right.
living
try
in it.
survive and live the best life we can while we're here. And I mean, so we still have to get up and work, we still have to do the right thing, learn how money
Yeah,
work because we're living in the system, obviously.
right.
Right?
Naturally.
And
Exactly.
the thing we say we know how money work, we know how capitalism work, and we are for Africa, we are Pan-Africanists. For
Hmm.
Africa to rise to that financial freedom, to financial prosperity, something has to give, something has to fall because that's
Yes,
how
sir.
money works. It has to
Mm-hmm.
come from somewhere.
Yes,
And I
sir.
mean,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
we talk about with brother Clifton Ellis that Africa need more infrastructure
Investment.
to make more things, mean to make more things,
Mm-hmm.
to manufacture. And
Mm-hmm.
if Africa start manufacturing things, right, that means
hmm,
somewhere else gonna have to
Well,
stop
stop. Yes,
manufacturing
yes,
things.
yes,
You
yes.
understand?
well,
So we have to,
According
if
to
we
the
if
contents of
we have
this
to be
system.
in this fight, say for
yes.
Africa to rise in this system, Europe have to fall. So
Well, the
that's
thing
what I'm
about
gonna
it, my
say.
brother, the,
Yeah,
the,
man.
the, the, the education will be about competing. We have to teach our children, say, this is the environment we are competing in. And you
Yeah.
explain everything we talk about with the
Mm-hmm.
political economy of capitalism. But
Mm-hmm.
however, we need to dominate in this field because, anything you put African people to, we're
They're
going to
gonna do it. They're
dominate it.
more excel. They're gonna
You know,
excel.
see? So
Mm-hmm.
once we understand the financial system, we have to use it to our advantage.
Hmm.
And,
And we
and I
focus now,
think.
like I said, on the innovation now. And
Mm-hmm.
the innovation of developing our own product. Like, for instance, we should be dominating the solar energy
Long time.
industry.
Hmm.
Long
That should
time.
be something that we just commit to collectively. Let's say, listen, we want to create our own factories, we build our own solar. because we
True.
have abundant sunshine. We can provide energy,
Yeah,
and we're going to
man.
need and we have the lithium to create the battery, and we have to
Uh,
charge the battery them up.
and we have land
See?
space to put them.
And we have the land space. So we need to
To
just make a
put them. Yeah,
commitment to
man.
say this is how we're going to dominate this part of the industry, of the international economy. We want to dominate solar, and we're going to also go into um, electric vehicles and also flying cars. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? 'Cause all them things is coming on stream, you know. And Yaga mentioned something too in the innovation department is that we are developing into a blockchain economy right now where most of the things them that we are used to today in terms of ownership will become tokenized.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to be aware of the
Digital
blockchain
society.
technology.
Yes, I want to
Yes.
add something as well too. Right? We're talking about financial literacy for African people, and we identify two significant steps so far. An awareness of the system that we are in and
Yes.
the rules that guide the system,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm.
education, right? Education in terms of being taught how money
Right.
works, how we can
Yes.
generate money, how we can look
Yes.
into entrepreneurship. All of these things need to be taught in the education system, right? Right?
Mhm.
So those are 2 points so far. A third point, what we want to say, I'm say it earlier, is to create a shift from the individualized approach to financial stability to a collective approach to financial stability. Because
Yeah.
once we stop viewing things from an individual point of view and start
Mhm.
viewing things from a collective point of view, it is
Mhm.
easier for us to come out of this wealth. Whether we
Ri-
go start from a family, whether we go start from a family
I'm sure.
standpoint,
I'm sure you already.
yes, I, yes, I,
Okay. Okay.
yes, I.
our,
We are
Okay.
going
our
to
our
the weary
community, our
on
community
a
level.
community level. You understand? We have to shift that individualistic ideology that capitalism has burnt into our subconscious. We have to erase that out of our mind and realize that the only way forward is collective
Collective.
effort. That is
That is
the
correct, my
only
lord.
way forward.
Because
Because
what you're saying practically can apply itself to look at farming. If the
mhm,
farmers them come together under a collective, a cooperative collective,
it's
and saying
easy.
we are plant pepper, we are plant corn, we are plant this, and we own it as a collective, as a cooperation. So when we sell, everybody benefit.
Everyone
Yes,
benefit.
every worker, every man who
Everyone
dig the
benefit.
yam, every man who manage the thing, everybody have a stake in that success of that cooperative.
And it's so beneficial too because when it's collective, guess what? One of the biggest challenges to agriculture is predial larceny. People stealing the produce. When you
Yes,
approach it collectively, nobody know how to thief it. Nobody
exactly.
know
'Cause
how to thief
everybody
it
will
because
benefit.
everybody I do it.
Yes, yes, my brother. So
Yeah.
those are practical solutions. But you see, the way I love how you think on that, my brother, because we need to implement these type of thinking in our school system. So when the youth
Naturally.
them graduate out, them understand the terrain and know that this is how we have to operate. Because if not, we're gonna be crushed. We're gonna be left behind.
It's
Individually,
gonna
we'll
be
be
the
crushed.
same thing. It's gonna be the
Yes.
same thing.
But
There's
but
not
but
gonna
the
be a difference.
system,
Them pick we
the
off one by one.
but the
Pick we off one by
Yes.
one.
education that we speak about cannot be based on capitalism as it is, because
No.
capitalism means to create wealth and prosperity to the pursuit of self-interest. So,
Right.
so now we must shift from that paradigm of self-interest to education, right? So
Naturally.
that would be the first thing, that's saying, hey, we not now no longer as looking at the capitalistic structure in the way they present it to us.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
And then
have to
and
be
then
one of the major things happening
Yes, sir.
through that education you speak about.
Yes, sir.
Because if
Yes, sir.
you're speaking about capitalism in the educational system as it is, it only promotes self-interest. That's what
Exactly.
capitalism
and
does.
in
Exactly.
that in that in that in that in that reforming of the whole thinking of our people, we have to make room to address the injustice of the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we have to address that there's a fundamental damage and inequality that exists because of the last 500 years. And to
Yes, yes, sir.
continue with capitalism without addressing that, I think we're going to do ourselves a disservice. So
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
political leaders have to devise policies that can be corrective to correct the imbalance. If that will include land reform, to redistribute land to the landless, those who were left out of land ownership, so be it. If you mean house, home ownership, so be it. Scholarship to the youth, them, so be it. Whatever it would take to empower the people them who were left behind
Has to be
need to be
done.
implemented as a corrective measure for the damage that capitalism has created so far.
I want to use a current event to kind of strengthen the point that they are making. What was it, last night or Friday night? Friday night. They had a very hyped up boxing match between Mike Tyson, who I would imagine is probably one of the greatest boxers we've seen in our lifetime, right? And what's his name? Jake Paul?
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Something like that.
Look,
Jake
yeah,
Paul,
Jake
right?
Paul.
Jake Paul.
Now, the reason why I make reference to this fight, is that you could see the damage in Mike Tyson. You could see the damage, like the physical damage.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it in Mike Tyson in the fight. Now, because there was no addressing of the damage, Mike Tyson wasn't able to give a performance of the caliber that we would have expected from a Mike Tyson, right?
Okay, yes.
So what we're saying is that damage that we as African people have experienced, it can be debilitating, just as that damage that Mike Tyson had in the fight, and it was so debilitating to him that like in Mike Tyson prime, Jake Paul couldn't stand up to him. In Mike Tyson prime.
But you
You
can
get what I'm
No
saying?
contest.
you cannot make those type of comparisons, Ross. You can't
Why not?
say why not, because that would be saying, hey, is Michael Jordan better than Kobe Bryant? We're talking about different times, different things happening. We're talking about different age group. So we have to move away from making those type of comparisons, because it is not realistic, right? You're talking about a 58-year-old man fighting a 27-year-old man. So
No, Bingy, I think you're missing the point that I try to make, He's talking about the damage to Mike Tyson that you couldn't see. You couldn't see that, like, looking at him, you couldn't see that he was damaged, that he couldn't put on a show to go up against Jake Paul,
what you
because he was
mean?
damaged different from what you're seeing.
What you mean by the
The
damage?
analogy,
Then? What damage you mean?
the analogy.
He couldn't
No,
move like
Him couldn't
he
move.
normally move.
He's a
He couldn't move.
58-year-old
We
man.
have
We
greater
know,
than the
but me I
damage
say,
than the damage you seen
yeah,
him now, brother.
That's the
I
point.
damage you
That's the
seen him,
point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm
I
saying
mean,
he was a
let's not drift too
professional
far.
boxer who
Yeah.
is damaged, as you say, decide to fight.
yeah,
No,
but
but
me I
that's
say
Yes,
you
not the
couldn't
point
just
of
see.
I'm making a fire.
Yeah, that's not the
That's not
point
the
though.
point. The
that's the
point of
point.
I'm making
Yeah,
is that the damage have a effect. So we are saying, as African people, the damage that we have experienced, it
Have
has
an
an
effect.
effect on us.
Right.
Yeah.
And we
that's the
mustn't
Even
point.
ignore it.
even
Because
though you
Mike
can't
Tyson
Yeah,
show
physically
it,
look on it and
Right.
point on
that's
it,
See,
right.
see.
but this
So,
damage is
so they
there.
are talking about the mental damage
Yeah.
And
Yes,
physical.
And
yes, yes.
physical,
And
And
definitely
and
emotional
physical.
and
physical.
physical.
Yes,
psychological.
But
Right.
with
yes.
Mike
And
Tyson,
physical.
it was more
Physical.
physical, but with us is mental, and it's mental too.
It's
It has
both.
to be
Because
It's
both.
both. It's both.
At
I
that
know
point, it
Mike,
has to
It's
be
both.
both.
I know Mike Tyson mine. I tell him say, him
Him
a go
can
He
run
do
and
could
it.
do
tumble
it.
Yeah,
man, but
He could do
remember,
it.
I don't know anything of the sort.
on the ball field, on the ball
The
field.
ball field,
yeah,
but he doing something different.
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes,
But
sir.
the essential point here is
The
that as we
damage has
move
to be
forward
addressed.
under capitalism, we can never make these capitalists think that they have gotten away with what they have done in the last
Mm-hmm.
500 years. They would
Mm-hmm.
like to exonerate themselves from responsibility of
Mm-hmm.
the damage of capitalism. We cannot allow that to happen. While we're going to compete, we're going to navigate through this web that they have created for us. And I recommend to black people, African people, that if you want to create generational wealth, open a business. If, do investments, get involved in real estate. Those are the quickest way under capitalism to achieve wealth. If you want to
And
achieve wealth
and
quickly,
and support each other.
yes. Those are the things coming differently
Mhm.
in terms of
Mhm.
the collectivity we were talking about now. It's counter to these
No, but
individualistic goals.
even outside of the collective, brother Delany, I'm talking about when
Mm.
African people establish businesses. It is
Yes,
important for
support it. Yes,
African people to
to
support it.
support it. Yes,
That's the
that is
point I'm gonna
important.
make. Yes, sir.
And grow our own and consume our own, produce
Yes,
our
sir.
own and consume our own. I mean, we
Mhm.
have to be confident to produce products, and we have to be confident, to also to buy those products and utilize those
Mhm.
products. Just like, for instance, textile. When African people
Yeah,
produce textile, we must be able to buy it and wear it with pride.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
and
don't
that go
look to be,
forward.
and
And
don't
not have it banned out of the parliament.
Right, exactly, and don't become captivated by these metrosexual brands that they put out there. Yes, that to trick our people to evaluate their importance based on their brand that they wear, and they feel their self esteem is linked to whatever these
Mhm.
big brand that they wear. So we need to
True.
break that barrier. And matter of fact, in the school system, they need to teach these things as well to break the psychological barrier. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because these things are captivating our youth to think that you are better than everybody because you wear a particular brand, and because somebody saying your brand, you feel say you're better than everybody else. Those psychology need to be broken. But and also, you know, I think Yaga brought out the cryptocurrency, and I think that we need to look into that because there's a lot of gain that can be made in that area. I'm very familiar with that area. I myself has been involved in it for many years, and tell you, it is a great way if you have a little finance put aside, a little savings, and you want to take a risk. It's risky. There's a chance, but there's an opportunity. Yes, so add it to your portfolio, a tiny part of your portfolio where you can also make gain if you're willing to invest in the markets. The cryptocurrency is an asset class that is growing. It's almost $3 trillion asset class at the moment. And right now, Bitcoin is on fire. It is exploding in value, and a lot of opportunity exists in that area right now for people who want to get involved in cryptocurrency. It is a lot of scamming out there. There's a lot of hacking out there. You have to be extremely careful, and it's very risky. So I need to let the people know up front. But there's opportunity if you want to pursue some financial gain on that front. Capitalism itself is a competitive environment, and it's a risky environment, but you can be a part of the winners. Yes, exactly. Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I.
Yes.
Yes, I.
And
And
seek
seek
professional
seek
help
seek
as
seek
well.
professional financial
Counsel.
advice
Advice.
Yes.
from
Right.
a professional accountant and advisor.
Mhm.
But I'm just letting, these are areas of opportunity that exist out there. Business creation is one area. I mean, if you're sending your children to school, you encourage them to go and create a business. If you send your children to school, encourage them to learn how the financial market work, how to invest, and how the real estate market work, and get involved in that. Working for somebody to achieve wealth and a capitalism is the 200 years journey. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's the slowest lane. That's the slowest way to achieve.
Yes, I.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
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 I.
yes.
Yeah,
And we
man.
have to survive. We have to survive in this society. So we have to. I mean, as much as we are maybe opposed to what the capitalists are doing and what capitalism represents, we still have to feed our family. We have to pay our bills. We have to live. So we have to find the best way to live in this society.
Naturally.
Dada.
Yeah, man, a real thing, man. So we want for this. So we're talking about being aware of the system that we exist in, being educated into how we can navigate the system, what are the
Hmm.
tools we can implement towards it, stuff like budgeting, as Yaga highlight, money management, and not
Hmm.
as soon as you get the money, like old time people used to say, the money a burn a hole in your pocket. As soon as the money drop in your pocket, you have to find a way. Yo, me have to spend it. Oh, me I go spend this. Like, like a junkie. You get me? So we have to realize, say,
So
when
you
time
have
we
to
get the money in
spend wisely.
yes, I.
Hmm.
We are talking about a shift from the self-individualistic approach to finances and look towards a collective approach to finances. And as a result of doing that, we have to start talking about bridging or addressing the mistrust that we have amongst each other as a people, and figure out how we can build and garner and generate trust amongst each other. We look on stuff like we're saying where Brother Delani was speaking earlier, where he's talking about, you know, having how do you say now? The vision then for really can say, Lord, it's not just about coming again as we've been taught to come work for people in order to achieve these things. We have to look outside of the box. We have to look at other ways where we can generate financial wealth. And I want to touch one final thing as well too. Don't look upon me. Is to get rid of this ideology amongst us as a people that mother of, father of, blessed is the child who have for himself. We have to get rid of that out of us as a people. We have to realize that when we generate wealth in a generation, it is supposed to be transferred to the next
Generational.
generation. And that
Yes.
generation has a responsibility to transfer the added wealth to the following generation. Well, and that is the approach that we have to take if we are going to achieve financial freedom as a nation. Right? Yes, I. So give thanks for the item, Brother Bilani. As always, it was a pleasure. And we give thanks that the I could come
Anytime,
sit
my
up with
brother.
the eye to come really well a reasoning. And we want to make sure that the ones them who viewing this really are look and saying that we want to take a different approach to these things. Because the approaches we've been taking have not worked and are not working. And them say, if you keep doing the same thing, expect a different result. That is the definition, as Brother Bingi like to point out the definitions, is the
Insanity.
definitions of insanity. Please remember to like, share,
Give
and
thanks. Give
subscribe.
thanks.
Please remember to visit Brother Delani's channel as well. Like, share, and subscribe. And do remember that as we go on this journey, it is up to us to help each other. His Majesty says, organize and centralize. And that is the quote that I'm going to leave us with today. As a people, we must organize and centralize. Give thanks for the moment.
Ash,
Yes, sir.
Ashe,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ashe,
In our own. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I.
Which is right. Yes,
Ashe,
sir. Give thanks.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah, man, give that.
So the living fire represent to the fullest. Perfect balance. You don't know, so. Trod class. Living fire represent.